No one's been able to get near them, really. This is the Bayern side from the team that beat Betis. Only 5 remain. The goalkeeper, Klanac, who's on a yellow card, as you can see. Dalpiaz stays in the side, as does Puljic and Ofli. And Chavez, the scorer of the winning goal in that game, also remains. He, Richter, De La Rovere, Klanac, all on yellow cards potentially for the quarter-final. Here is the Inter side. One change from the win against Lille. Venturini, the player who's left out. Berenbroek, who's shown such good form in the Primavera League, comes into the left side of that midfield. Zanquetta is the only player who's on a yellow card potentially ahead of that quarter-final. It'll be Inter to get us underway. Isn't it great to see a really good crowd in as well for a game of this magnitude? They publicised it, they've got a crowd, and we're underway. Doubt you need telling that Inter, the famous Nerazzurri, the black and blue, are in those colours, but they kick from left to right in this first half. And they'd love to get off to a good start. Rock solid at the back. Scorer 19 goals in that group stage, 3 more in the knockout. Matteo Spinace, player in your picture with 2 of those goals against Lille, making it 6 games and 4 goals in the Youth League for him this season. Well, they go short, they went deliberately short, but that was read rather too easily. De La Rovere, new arrival this season from Cremonese. Strange for him to be playing against Inter in Bayern colours. Going to be a Bayern throw, taken by Deniz Erfli. Caligaris now in the Inter goal. Very much the #1 Primavera goalkeeper. It's interesting, the approach of clubs. Some almost pick a deliberately experimental side, but these two have gone with big guns, albeit Bayern making changes for this game. But Inter in particular have named such a strong side, just about the best youth side they can. Very much got their eyes on trying to win it this year. No Italian side has won the Youth League, no German side has got to the final. Milan, the first Italian side to reach the final last season. Here's Deniz Erfli. Ljubo Puljic. Picked up by Spinace. It was a strong challenge from him as well. Now Topalovic. No great surprise if they all need just a bit of time to settle here. Nudge forward by De Pieri. Here's Spinace. Wanted it on that left foot. Promising this from Inter. Cocky with the ball in, they have a throw. Stuttgart won at Sporting. Quarter-final place for them. Manchester City won at Hoffenheim, so one German side through, another out. Already an Italian side out today in the shape of Atalanta. Another one trying to progress, the last remaining. Dennis Earfley hurling it through, great long throw! And Leonard Carl seized on that and very nearly picked out the top corner. Inter hadn't done their homework there. They didn't know Earfley could do that, I don't think. There's Peter Gaderoff, so nearly that paid off. Nearly a moment of high drama there. Puljic. Magna. Lovely sunny day in Munich. Beautiful city, great part of the world. There's Andrea Zanchetta. Largely played for Chievo. Very briefly at the start of his career, played for Inter. A couple of appearances, having been in the youth system himself, so he's a perfect person to guide these young players. Here's Ljubo Puljic. Now Dennis Earfley. Rolled forward by Puljic, but given away. Here goes De Pieri. Spinace. Oh, picks the spot beautifully, and what a save that is. Inter should be in front. Leon Klanac did so well. But he shouldn't really have had the chance to make the save. Spinace does everything right. Bayern went to sleep, and they weren't made to pay. But here come Inter again, Berenbruch. Good spell here for the Italians, but they concede the free kick. Fuljic. Now Denis Erfli. Della Rovere thought there was a handball there. Gatorov, you can see, clearly agrees. Now Berenbruch. Here's De Pieri, was he fouled? Anyways, I wonder if the referee reacted to his reaction there. That's what Erfli thinks. Munich-born Turkish citizen, Denis Erfli. Now, he is a bit late. Don't think he needs De Pieri to make quite that much of it. Now then, Berenbruch to one side. He leaves it ultimately, and it's hooked in very deep by Luka Topalovic. Not his finest moment. Della Rovere. Needs to be careful with the contact there. Spinace was pushed over. Clever side into top of that table after 4-2 win at Manchester City, 4-0 against Red Star, 3-2 against Young Boys who stretched them, 4-1 against Arsenal, 3-2 Leipzig, 1-0 Leverkusen. It was a great run. And then dealing with Lille in that knockout stage. Bayern started well against Dinamo and Aston Villa. Lost at Barcelona, drew with Benfica, hammered by Paris Saint-Germain 5-2, and then 2-0 win against Shakhtar on the final match day. Proved enough, 13th in the table. And that 1-0 win against Betis. Betis had missed a penalty, but Bayern made the most of that. Inter have missed a very good early chance here. Mattia Zanchetta across to take the corner. Real depth on that. That's clearly the plan, isn't it, from Inter, to go deep when they can. It's only half away, and Zanchetta uses that cleverly. Now Bayern try and break. See, look at the Italian bodies back there. Only 3 Bayern players. 4 now in this counter-attack. And that was scooped well beyond everybody. De Pieri. Again, he used that really smartly. Here's Max Magner. Now Berenbruch. Here's De Pieri. Well, he thought he'd done well to get across and win that back. See that, but there was a foul, I think. And it's a painful one for Louis Richter, the Bayern captain. Fell awkwardly here. Oh yeah, that's why. Puljic. It's a heavy touch that from Klanac. Ray Cecconi. Forward then by Berenbruch. Excellent ball in for Spinace, who's just offside. Thought he was away then. It's tight. The hero against Lille, trying to strike again. Amazing record of failure, really, for German sides in this UEFA Youth League. Two semi-finalists in Schalke and Hoffenheim over the years. Schalke back in 2014, Hoffenheim 5 years later. Think of the power and the strength of German football. It's remarkable, really. Catalogue of failure. Not even that many near misses, really. Bayern lost in the quarter-final against Olympiacos, the eventual winners last year. Four Germans in the knockout stage last year, and they all faded away rather quickly. It's Dennis Erfli. Bit better this from Bayern, and that's deflected, and you wondered where that was going for a moment, but behind for a corner is the answer. A shot from Max Magner. Felipe Chavez across to take the corner. Drilled hard and low, and it was blocked, and back in it comes. Might have gone anywhere. Oh, just over. What a chance that is for Unsold. And he knows it too, but he was just leaning back as he hit it. On another day with a calmer head, he scores there. Just watch this angle. Just there, came to him quickly. Goodness me, he's got a lot of the goal to aim at, hasn't he? furious with himself for missing out there. Earthly. Again, it might open up. It's deflected, and this time it's in! This time it's in, and the home side in front. Felipe Chavez hit it. It took a deflection, but it's his goal. And once again, Chavez is the Bayern hero there in front. Inter have dominated, but now they'll have to come from behind. Didn't close him down. They always look vulnerable to something like that. As you can see, he took the little nick on the way through, I think off Cocky. Goalkeeper with the cap on because of the sunshine anyway. Probably should save it, Caligaris. Cap's off now. Damage done. Great moment for that young man. Not so good for that one. What a position now for Bayern. Thierry couldn't quite control. What Inter mustn't do here is panic. Still believe they're the better side, because if they panic, they can go 2 down, and that could soon be it. There's Della Mora, swept wide by Zanquetta. And then it's given away. Inter trying to respond. Berenbroek with a nice idea. Didn't quite find its target, the pass. De Pieri, bundled over, so free kick goes the way of Inter. So chance for Inter. Mattia Zanquetta to take this free kick. Look to bend it into that near post, and in fact his hands went onto his head, which suggests wasn't far away. He will come across to take the corner. Earthfleet. It's Caligaris. Now Zanquetta. Under pressure there is Dalpiaz. Did well to play his way out of trouble. He's Ljubo Puljic. Koki. That was won really well by Topalovic. Zanquetta. Now Topalovic. Tommaso Della Mora. Here's De Pieri. This is better. Della Mora to hook it back across. Inter trying to build something. Berenbrook just wide. So close to an equalising goal. Twice he's come close. Twice he hasn't quite found a way. Lovely touch to tee it up from Mattia Mosconi. And another day he scores there. Magna. Felipe Chavez. Looking for the width provided here by Dennis Earthfleet, and it travels a long way. Our chance! Somehow, Caligaris keeps it out. How significant might that save prove to be? Because that almost looked beyond him and in. See this again. It's off the post, he doesn't save it. He just said a prayer. Coat of varnish away. Earthly now with the corner. And he'll get a second chance. All happening here, they look for the overhead in the centre. Now De Pieri had his heels clipped. End to end right now, half an hour in. Bayern have that narrow lead, thanks to the goal from Chavez. Max Mergner's about to get a yellow card here. Whether he knows it or not, well, he will soon. Yeah, it's quite a cynical nudge in the back there. Bordering on the cheap shot. And it looks a very painful one. A yellow card for him, and well, his continued participation remains up for debate. Sunny day, Bayern in front. They hit the post, it would have been 2-0. In it goes from Berenbroek. Touched on by Della Mora. De Pieri now. De Pieri. Flags up on the near side. Inter getting a bit frustrated, but they mustn't let that affect them. They're behind, but they're playing okay. Zanchetta. Ten minutes to go until half-time. Bayern leading by a 0-0 here, scored by Felipe Chavez via a deflection. 20 minutes in, they hit the post. After that, briefly gave it away there, but scrambled to recover. Oh, lovely bit of skill over on that left-hand side. Bayern able to get it clear, but this is good pressure from Inter. Tommaso Della Mora. That's beautifully done for Berenbrook, carving Bayern open here. Can they find the finish? They couldn't. But they're getting closer and closer here, Inter. Just not quite close enough. Chavez, Deniz Erfli. Nice spin there from Felipe Chavez. Here's Topalovic. Travelled an awfully long way there. Mosconi, goodness me. Della Rovere. De Pieri. Della Mora was on the overlap, he decided not to use him. Inter would be confident if they can grab an equaliser of going on to win this, but there is certainly jeopardy here now for the team of the group stage, team of this youth league so far. is Richter. They've got bodies here centrally, but Zanketta hooks it away. And we head for the final 5 minutes of this first half, really entertaining. Here's Zanketta. Change coming. It's a shame for Max Magner. Took that bang on the leg. He got the yellow card as well, but not able to continue. What a shame in such a big game. And it will be Kurt Ruger. 18 appearances in that Regionalliga Bayern. Really good level in Germany. Defensive midfield player. Very much like for like. Here's De Pieri. Putting himself about, Unseld. He's going to get a yellow card for that. Well, it felt like a bit of nonsense, but might become more serious, particularly when you're a physical centre forward. Let's take a look. Oh, he's being grabbed and then he hoiks the player over. I'm not sure about that. It's a fairly, there might be a foul, but it's a response to what was being done to him. Della Mora. Another strong challenge. Referee laying down the law here. Card was out very quickly. Well, he is late. It's a substitute as well. Just on, I think that's the first thing Ruger's done. When you consider he's replacing a player who'd been booked as well. Closing moments of the first half, although I think there'll be perhaps 3 or 4 added here after various delays. Dennis Erfleet, again with that fantastic long throw. Arms came out, it will be a Bayern free kick. This time pleading his case is Receconi. Not sure there's much in there. Although I credit Unsalt there, strange though it might sound, for playing the referee pretty sharply. Did well. Shouldn't really praise him for that, but you know what I mean. Slight delay and then delivery. Only 2 added minutes at the end of this first half. There's Topalovic. Ruger. Good pressure here from Inter. Could they strike on the stroke of half-time? They've won a corner, if there's time to take it. Luka Topalovic to swing this in. Did so with real intent, and he gets another chance now. And there is the half-time whistle, so the goal came 20 minutes in. Good pressure from Inter, but then Felipe Chavez tried his luck, and via a deflection found the back of the net. Bayern hit the post after that. Inter had a couple of good chances. Still all to play for in Munich, very tight. But at the moment, the side that many believe is the best in this UEFA Youth League is on its way out. Inter are in trouble here. Berenbrook, the player, with a couple of opportunities. But Chavez and Bayern have taken theirs. Half-time, Bayern Munich 1, Inter 0. Back underway. Bayern with this lead given them by Felipe Chavez. I know I sound like a broken record, but Inter have to keep keeping their cool. Mijatovic, son of the Hertha Berlin assistant manager, Andrej Mijatovic, the centre-half. Rocco Mijatovic is back from injury to play here, the Croatian. Christos Alexiou now, the Athens-born Greek under-21 international. Another with family links, his brother Kyriakos is at the Athens Kallithea club, lower level to him. Still not bad. That, I would say, is a slightly unfortunate flag against the seemingly tireless Matteo Spinacci. The Italy under-18 international scored 8 goals in the Primavera, the top youth league in Italy, of course, and 4 in this youth league. Hasn't really had a clear-cut chance here, if a chance at all. That was a smack in the face, and it ricochets away. It's a really painful one. We've seen how Unsold gets involved in everything. He's over there to look after his teammate. Well, that was a painful whack in the face. Touch of concern as well, which is always nice to see from Alexiou. And a delay right at the start of this second half, and here's why. Yeah, ouch. Richter, the player who's down. I mean, that's right hook to the jaw, isn't it? He's done well to get up from that. Bit of skill there from Lennart Karl. If you remember, he was the player who latched onto that long throw very early and very nearly scored. Another card. Referee's been busy. He's cocky. Bayern defending that near post area well. Zanchetta. Slice behind for an Inter corner. Confirmation it was Felipe Chavez, the goal scorer, who was booked. Becomes the 4th Bayern player to be booked, none so far from Inter. And a foul in the centre. Inter have gone deep with almost every single set piece today so far. Lennart Karl. Now Delpiaz. He's allowed to stride a long, long way, and he keeps going. Oh, terrific save. What a run. from Magnus Dalpiaz, and Caligaris keeps Inter in it. Fabulous save that, but spectacular from the Austrian Dalpiaz. The fact he just continued, he had options, but he went on his own, and now at the other end, Svinace fancies his chances. It was a good bit of defending that from Puljic. Here comes the Inter surge again, it's through everybody! Spinace got a touch, Mosconi couldn't. Koki now, close to the keeper and beyond him. Derenbrook felt that he was being fouled, referee having to look in 15 different places at once. There's the save. A centre forward there gives him the eyes. Almost treats it like a penalty. Dalpiaz put his head down and hit it. That, however, could have gone anywhere. Captain's armband will be transferred to Leon Klanac. So it looks as if the race is run here for Felipe Chavez. I mean, he may have been on the list to come off anyway, having been booked. And seemingly tiring a touch as well. Double change coming. Unsold will make way. Michael Scott is going to come on here. Been impressed with Samuel Unsold, really hard-working. Was quite a classic German centre-forward. Well-timed changes. They were maybe just starting to fade a touch. Della Rovere making way. Sadat is the other player who's come on. Mudassar Sadat, an Afghan family. Remarkable story, the left winger. There's Lennart Karl, and back from Dalpiaz. Kusiasare's on as well, Jonah Kusiasare. He's had one or two good contributions scored against Benfica, the winner against Villa earlier on in this competition. So fresh legs brought on at a key moment here for Bayern. Pace here as well from De Pieri. Good run there. Haven't seen too much of that from him. Touch of contact there, wasn't there? Just a little bit. It's a poor defensive header back across his own penalty area. Caligaris. Now they'll start again here in Tep. And they'll take their time, they've got plenty of that. Alexiou back to his goalkeeper, Alessandro Caligaris. Here's Koki. And Zanquetta with an ambitious crossfield ball. Oh, lovely feet there to just flick that away from trouble. Inter are still very much in this. Great urgency from them so far in this second half. They've really set their sights on this UEFA Youth League. Have they just opened Bayern up here? Well, ball was beyond everyone. Two near post runs and a ball floated into the far. Chavez, who after all of that did stay on. I said no panic, suddenly there is a bit of panic from Zanquetta. His team under pressure now. Topalovic. Around the corner for Spinace. Mosconi. And then the follow-up is a little wild and woolly. Felipe Chavez. There's Ray Cecconi. Now Alexiou. Alexiou starting to join in. Here's Mosconi. Bayern need to be really careful here. And they've given it away. And important last-ditch challenge there. Feels like it's on. A classic knife edge here. Bayern looking to counter, Inter piling on the pressure. Next goal is the key one. If there is a next goal, half an hour to play. Trabzonspor, away from home, await. Kusi Asare. Della Rovere knocked over there. Here come Inter once more, clumsy challenge penalty, great run. And they've done so much right defensively, but that's an awful challenge. De Pieri, we saw the pace, didn't we? And we saw it again there. And now this is a golden chance for Inter to draw level. Big Lubo Puljic came across. No need to go to ground. Once he goes to ground, he's in trouble. Klanac needs to be a hero. Luka Topalovic to take. Scored 3 in the Youth League already this season. Massive moment in the game. It's Topalovic! Oh, he saves it! Klanac guesses right, and he holds on. And maybe Bayern starting to believe that it's their day. Because he hit that firmly. That's a really good save. Topalovic was there to pick up the pieces, but there weren't any. And listen to the noise now from the Bayern fans. Mosconi. Still need to be careful. They've won nothing yet here, Bayern. And they're defending very, very deep. Now it's Karl. Support from Chavez, still scorer of the only goal. And he fires it again, and another good save. Caligaris, but they've only cleared it half away, and it's just wide. It's end to end, it's ebb and flow, it's still 1-0. Lennart Karl just couldn't quite curve it into the far post. It's a good fingertip save. And Karl does nearly everything right. Changes for Inter, they had to come. Gabriele Garonetti is on. Amen Zouin. Also a big slip from Topalovic, who saw his penalty saved. He didn't quite get the height on it. It's not a great penalty, but it was hit with power. And it's an excellent save. There's the Inter fans. Well, Topalovic is distraught. I've seen much worse penalties be successful. Still got 25 minutes. But it's so important they keep a positive mental approach, because you'd start to think that everything's against you. And of course now Bayern will have an eye on the clock. That was Kusi Asare, clipped and going over. Mijatovic, and then Puljic. Mattia Zanchetta. Ray Cecconi replaced. And down is Christos Alexiou. And that's where it happened. Sadat. And Mijatovic. Advantage there, I think, from the referee. Udasa Sadat again. By Ruger. There's Mijatovic. Again, slightly sloppily given away. Wide from Berenbruch. Zouan gets to the byline and nodded over. The chances keep coming. There was pressure on it. But De Pieri knows he might have done better. One or two Bayern players started to struggle as well. Home fans trying to get with them and support them. One of those matches, this. If Inter draw level, they'll fancy they could win it, but banging loudly at the door and they haven't quite found a way. De Pieri has come and played more and more inside, and that's had an impact. He won the penalty. There he is again. Venturini arguing that it should have gone his way. Final 20 minutes now. Here's Alexiou. Zanquetta. Back with Christos Alexiou. Sare, good burst of pace, beyond everyone. And Inter still try and unpick Bayern here. Zouan's attempted cross just charged down. Here he comes again, Zouan. Delamore has done really well to scamper and keep that in. Couple of step overs from him, and then it drifts behind. Still Inter push, still they dream, still they believe, but still that clock ticks against them. Alexiou. Koki. Flag is up. Final 15 minutes. Flicked inside from Carl. Diagonal from Ruger. Now Lennart Carl. Chavez gives it away. A game that could yet change in the blink of an eye. Spinace. Oh, that was tight. That was tight. Inter want the free kick for the challenge on Koki anyway. I think he's given it to them. Here is Koki. He's fouled again. Zanketta to take the free kick. Oh dear, they've gone deep, haven't they, with just about everything. And it hasn't worked once. There's obviously a plan, but even if there is, I think Bayern are wise to it. Oh, great turn by Zouan. Bayern are defending for all they're worth now. Miscued by Koki. He's given the free kick right on the edge. And if Bayern can capitalise on this, they'll have a foot in the quarter-final. And straight away you could see that Sadat fancied it. Few options here. It's going to be Chavez, though, to try and add a second. Oh, touched over by Caligaris. That was a sweet hit from Chavez. He couldn't have caught it any better had he got it a yard either side of the goalkeeper. Of course, the wall did its job, but had he managed to do that, in again from Chavez, looking for that near post touch. It's a painful one. Suggestion that there was an elbow thrown there by Mijatovic. Here goes Koki. And that's won terrifically. Back from Koki. And then Alexiou. And then a really good turn from Kusiasare. Has he given the free kick against Alexiou? I suspect he has. Kusiasare checking that he's okay. Standing his ground, he wins the ball. Kusiasare leaves his foot on Alexiou there. Yeah, the yellow card's gone to the Bayern Munich player, as it should have done. I just wondered for a moment. It's a good spot, that, from the referee. 5 minutes remain. Are Inter Milan going out here? A tale of a Chavez goal deflected in the first half and a missed penalty by Inter. And here's Kusiasare as they sense that they could seal it. Zouan. Dennis Earthly. Forward by Alexiou, does well to spin it wide. Such a silly challenge. The minute the foot is high there, you're going to be penalised, and you can look at the referee. It's Matteo Lavelli as much as you like, but it's a cheap free kick to give away. Still they push. Still they try to find a way. Still they can't. Great drama in Munich as Koki gives it away. Bayern look for a second that would seal it now. The ball was looking for Scott. Chavez. Now Carl has a little look up. He's got runners around him. A couple of half chances to seal it here. Inter is still alive. Flag was up there as we go into the final minute of the 90. I reckon there'll be 5 or 6 added. But Andrea Zanchetta will be wondering how it's come to this. Inter was so good for the opening 20 minutes. Didn't take advantage. Bayern scored. Inter then won a penalty. Didn't take advantage of that. And now they're on the brink. He's been outstanding, Carl. Louis Schaefer on to replace him. I think that was 4 in terms of minutes to be added. Oh no, it was 6. I misread. That's more like it. 6, more accurate. And if Bayern can keep a hold of it, if they could add a second, then Inter's race is run here. He's given the free kick. They were looking for a corner, weren't they? Giving it away again, Kusiasare drives it. Two minutes of the 6 have gone. Getting towards now or never territory. Goalkeeper came a long way and didn't get there. The danger is still there. And it's there, and Inter have done it. They've done it. Christos Alexiou, the captain. 4 minutes into added time. Inter save themselves. What a moment that is. Italy still have a representative in this youth league. And just when it seemed as if the world was against them, Inter are level. What a moment this was. Hesitant goalkeeping, great header back to recycle. And Alexiou with a super finish. You can feel the atmosphere just pop here. Believe they could win it here. Oh, crossbar! What a turnaround that nearly was. So close to winning it. And will that come back to haunt them? What a strike from Bayern, dipped all the time, just didn't quite dip in time. They'd have taken 1-1 5 minutes ago, but now there'll be a tinge of regret. What a climax, what a game. It finishes 1-1, it will be penalties to decide it. Bayern Munich led for so long, the goal from Felipe Chavez. But then, after Inter had missed a penalty through Topalovic, they saved themselves thanks to that man Alexiou. And they very, very nearly won it with the last kick of added time. Shot from Bayern thumping off the crossbar. So now we head to penalties. Who is more shocked? We're going to find out. Who can hold their nerve? We're going to find out. But in normal time, it finishes Bayern Munich 1, Inter 1. We head to penalty kicks to decide who will play Trabzonspor in the quarter-final. So it'll be Inter to get us underway in the shootout for a place in the quarters. Bayern, who has just hit the crossbar. Superbly taken. Always so important to go first if you can. Superb penalty in response. How good was that from Sadat? 1-1. Benache next. Supremely well taken. Now Ruger, the substitute. Just so rehearsed, so perfect. Who is going to slip up here? De Pieri to put Inter back in front. This for 3-2 in the shootout, this high-quality shootout. Just. Now, he very nearly stopped there. You're allowed to do that if you continue your momentum. He very nearly didn't. Every moment a big one. Oh, every penalty a brilliant one. 3-3. Jonah Kusiasari arguably with the best of the lot. Big deep breath, side-footed home for 4-3. Oh, just flashes in, they can hardly watch, but it's 4-4 in this shootout. At this point, you're always meant to say who's going to blink first, but no one's blinking. Puljic, hard and low, goalkeeper doesn't move. Now we get into the real business end of the shootout. Lavelli. On as a substitute, blasts it down the middle to keep them in front, to give Caligaris the first chance of putting them through, because now we're into that territory. If Bayern miss, they're out. How Klanac wishes he'd stayed on his line. Felipe Chavez, whose goal for so long, separated them, has to score, and he doesn't score! And Inter Milan are into the quarter-finals! They save themselves late, and they win it on penalties! Caligaris is the hero! And the favourites to win it stay in it. But they do so in the most dramatic fashion. A late equaliser from Alexiou. And then a winning moment in the shootout. The goalkeeper Caligaris gets the plaudits. Chavez, who scored for Bayern, is the poor unfortunate. Here's the moment again. It's a fabulous save. It's a fingertip save. And look at the celebrations. High drama here in Munich. Wonderful game, full of drama, full of quality. And Italy do have a team in the quarter-finals. Inter will go to Trabzonspor, who'll try and beat their third Italian team in a row. It finishes here, Bayern Munich 1, Inter 1. Inter win it 5-4 on penalties.